Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome to our live event, to this week's workshop, or this month's workshop, we could call it. Welcome. I'm super excited to have you. If you don't know, we are currently streaming on our Facebook group, on LinkedIn, on YouTube, and Twitter. So if you are looking for a different platform, you can always join there. I did receive quite a few people saying they don't like Facebook. No problem. I'm also streaming right now on YouTube and on LinkedIn and on Twitter. So you can catch all of that there. I'm super excited to be talking with you guys today because we are going to make this super actionable, and we're going to dive straight in to how you can leverage emotion to increase your own conversions. So if you are trying to drive more sales, if you're trying to get more email subscribers, if you're trying to get more leads or get people to even open a free account or any kind of account with you, then this workshop is for you. To get started, I will let you know that I will be soon sharing my screen. I'll walk you through a slide deck, and I'll race through all sorts of things that are super important that we understand the strategy of, and then I'll dive deep into different templates and headline formulas that you can use. Now, at the end of this workshop, I'm also going to answer all and any of your questions. So if you want me to answer a particular question about your industry, about your company, about a landing page, I'm all in, no problem. I will do that at the end. If you have a specific question about the presentation, so you want more clarifications, more examples, anything from the slide deck, then also no problem. What you want to do is leave a comment in wherever it is that you're watching this. So if you're on YouTube, you can leave a comment in YouTube. If you are on Facebook groups, if you are on Twitter or on LinkedIn, you can comment there. You can see right beside me, there's Christine, my wonderful colleague, who will be basically collecting all of those questions from all the different platforms and feeding them to me at the end so that I can answer them all. And I won't log off until I answer all your guys, all the questions that you guys have. So that is the most important thing to me. Just to make sure that all your questions are answered. So no problem with that. If you've shown up and you want me to look at your landing page, you can even send me a link, and I'll do that too at the end of this presentation. Having said all that, I'm excited to get started. If you have any technical issues, you can also let me know in the comments, and Christine will help you out. That's it. I think enough of the intros. Let's get started and dive straight in. I'm going to remove this, add this, and share my screen. All right, we are ready to get started. Okay, so if you have been following me for a while, or if this is the first time that you've ever heard of me and you've shown up, hi, nice to meet you, welcome, to one of my workshops, then maybe you know and maybe you don't, my entire methodology is focused on leveraging emotional targeting to increase conversions. When I started out as an optimizer a decade ago, I used to make all sorts of mistakes until I figured out that emotion is the most important thing in order to increase conversions. So I'm going to walk you through that today. And it all starts by understanding how people make decisions. So when I ever work with my students or even my clients, I always ask them, why do you think people buy from you? So if I were to ask you right now on Facebook or on YouTube or LinkedIn or whatever, why do you think people buy from you and not your competitor? What would you say? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to know. Normally what I hear is a long list that is very much focused on the solution, right? So it's to do with the features, the product that you're selling. It's to do with the technology. It's to do with your team. It's machine learning. It's different tech, it's the benefits that we have. It's pricing, and very, very focused on what you are selling. However, and I learned this the hard way, after losing a 100K client a decade ago, if this was really the reason that people bought from you, that actually buy from you and not from your competitor, if people really bought because of features and pricing and your actual product and its technology, or your course because of the amount of lessons that you teach, then I would say that the biggest brands in the world would definitely look like this, right? Like Coca-Cola would have a landing page that would talk about the fact that they are number one in the world since 1886. They talk about how many calories they have, how much the bottle costs, what it's made of. It would all be super technical, but you would never, ever, ever see a landing page like this from Coca-Cola, right? Never. That's just not a thing. And yet, when you look at all the landing pages on the web, this is what you see, like introducing the industry-leading solution for government contractors. Okay. The number one cloud accounting software, the world's best UI component suite. Every single landing page I look at and websites are all about self-proclaimed the most amazing product, the most amazing solution. You've got to choose us. We have 5,000 templates, or I was voted number one, or it's all about them. And this is because when we think about how our customers or our clients make decisions to buy, we think about it this way. We've been taught that this is how people make decisions, that somehow we've convinced ourselves that when we are about to buy something or try a new tool, we go onto a website and we go through this like elaborate process of like the cons and the pros and weighing everything amazingly. And then suddenly we arrive at some amazing conclusion and whatever, like we do buy or we don't. But scientists and marketers and the biggest brands in the world have proven again and again, and I'm talking about for decades now, that this is not how people make decisions. This is not how people buy. This is every single thing that we buy, everything we buy in life is based on emotion. We buy on emotion and then we rationalize it. Okay, so we'll walk into a store and we'll buy a top that costs $200 because what the heck, we feel like it's amazing on us. And they later will justify it by saying, yeah, well, I have 3 weddings to attend, so I'm definitely going to wear it. It's an emotional thing, and it's automatic. It's not something that we can control. We love to think of ourselves as rational people, but we are not rational people. And this is coming from Dan Ariely and from Daniel Kahneman and from countless neuroscientists and psychologists who have proven time and time again that emotion affects everything, and our brain just makes decisions instantly based on emotion. Now, I can even give you an actual example by Antonio Damasio. So Antonio Damasio actually ran an amazing experiment on people that have brain damage, but their brain damage is specifically in the area of of emotion. Meaning they didn't feel any emotion. These are the people that he tested. And what he found out in his experiment is that the people that could not feel any emotion went about their lives regularly, could do everything the same, but there was one key thing they could not do, and that is make any decision. Not even what sandwich to get, right? Like nothing. So what we understand from this is that emotion affects our decisions in everything in life, from the things that we buy, from the people we meet, everything. So emotions affect our decisions. Decisions affect our conversions, obviously, because they're going to decide if they're going to buy from us or not. And conversions affect our revenue. Now, maybe you've heard this all before. Maybe you know the theory. You've watched some of my videos before and you're like, okay, great. But you're still creating some of the landing pages or the kinds of landing pages that I showed you before. So today we're going to really dive into the tactics, because the number one thing I want you to walk away with today is that no matter what you're selling, what people really, really care about isn't the what. It's not the solution. It's the why. It's the what's in it for me. And I want to give you an example. So a while ago, we worked with Social Media Marketing World. There are a wonderful conference by Social Media Examiner. Every year in San Diego, they put on probably one of the best conferences in the world for social media marketing. And Mike, the CEO, contacted me and said, hey, I need help with selling this conference. And what's really key here to understand is that it's not just selling the actual tickets for the conference, but people have to buy into the idea that they have to fly and they have to buy tickets, plane tickets, and book a hotel. So there's a lot involved in here. And when you look at their landing page, it's literally a blog post, okay? It's 3,000 words of basically a blog post selling you on buying tickets for this conference. And there wasn't a lot that we could do in terms of design. We could only change and work on copy and optimize that. So we did our research, our emotional targeting research, and we identified that the people behind the screen were people who were lost in the social media marketing world. They felt overwhelmed. Everything was changing too quickly. They didn't know what strategy to choose. They needed someone to hold their hand and tell them what the roadmap should look like. They wanted to feel confident in the decisions that they make, the platforms that they're choosing, the tactics that they're going for. And they felt alone. They were normally people who were just working alone. Even if they were in-house, they were the solo person in the company handling social media. So it really felt like a solo kind of thing. So what we did is we created an entire section of more copy. We added more copy to the page, just talking about their pains and the solutions. So we know that you are struggling to keep up with the ever-changing nature of social media marketing. We know that you're feeling X, Y, and Z, and this could be you. And we literally painted by numbers. We wrote down everything people said from the surveys, from the interviews. We explained everything that they said. So we were using their words. You could feel this, you could be this, you could be achieving this, and you could get to know everyone and basically create an amazing community. And by doing this, we got a 41% uplift in signups on the first page, which meant more people they could email and use to basically sell the course to, and almost 16% increase in actual ticket sales. So leveraging emotion, really tapping into their pains, their challenges, their roadblocks, and their desired outcomes, what they want to feel. They wanted to feel like they can form a real relationship. They wanted to feel like someone was going to help them. There's going to be someone there that's going to handhold them and take them right down the right path. And they wanted to feel a connection. And we did that on the page. Now, one thing to remember is that over the years, we've discovered over 223 different emotional triggers. So there are plenty of emotions, and it's never just one that's at play. There's always a few. And that's why we never kind of focus on the single emotion, but more on the triggers, the different pains and challenges that people are facing, and your desired outcome. Desired outcome essentially means, how do I want to feel after finding a solution? So how does your customer, and this is a very important question to ask yourself right now, do you know what does your prospect feel right now before finding a solution? So what are their real pains? And again, take the conversation away from pricing and features. What is their real pain? What's keeping them up at night? What is bugging them? What's driving them nuts? What is just like really, really pain, like a real challenge that they're facing right now? And what do they want to feel like after finding a solution? So let's say they chose you. How are they going to feel? What is it? Is it relief? Is it, they're going to feel compassion? Are they going to feel empathy? Are they going to feel elated? Are they going to feel that they've conquered this huge mountain? Or what is it that they're going to feel internally about themselves? What belief will they have about themselves? And one way of putting it is, what better version of themselves are they going to be? Because people do not buy products, they buy better versions of themselves. So as an example, we don't buy, and this is an example that I love to give, we don't buy, you don't go into a shop and say, okay, I'm buying a t-shirt, I'm buying a piece of cloth. No, you're buying self-esteem. You don't buy an insurance policy for, just for the piece of paper. You buy it for peace of mind, right? For knowing that your family and your loved ones are protected. So that is the better version of myself. Once I hire you to help me work out my marketing, once I hire you to help me lose weight, what is the better me? What is the better me when I use your accounting software? What is the better version of myself when I sign up for your marketing software, your email software, or your course? What is it that I'm going to believe about myself that will change? And that's what you want to ask yourself. Now, today we're going to focus on two main emotional triggers that work together. And what I mean by that is that these are two emotional triggers that I see time and time again, constantly appearing in almost every client that I work with, and almost for all my students. So I've worked with hundreds of students by now in both our courses, in Emotion Cells and the Income Engine. And time again, these two emotional triggers repeat themselves. Excuse me. And they work together. Now, what I want to show you today is I want to show you how you can use these emotional triggers to actually optimize your landing pages or your website or even your emails. Because when you understand these emotional triggers, you'll be able to relate better to your prospects. You'll be able to understand them better and then create copy for them on your pages that will really relate, that will really touch them. Because when you think about how you scroll today, how you choose products today, ultimately it's all about who gets you, who understands you, because we're bombarded with like hundreds and thousands of people targeting us with ads, with posts on Facebook, with Instagram stuff, with emails. How are you going to choose who you're actually going to buy from? And it's usually going to be the one that you connect with most. So these emotional triggers really help you do that. So let's talk about number one, the first emotional trigger, social image. So social image is based on how I want people to perceive me. So your audience, think about your customers, your clients, how they want to be perceived by their surroundings. As social creatures, most of us really care what other people think about us. And this is in the B2B and the B2C, okay? In all industries. Many people just want to feel appreciated. They want to feel admired, envied. They want to be looked up to. And as a result, many of our purchasing decisions, the actions that we take, are influenced by what we think people will think about us. So an easy example, like the most common example, is like the car that we buy, right? But another example that may hit home for the parents out here who are with me is that sometimes parents will throw like this huge elaborate birthday party for their child, or get these insane activities for the birthday party. And so not because they actually want to, but they feel like, oh, other parents will see this amazing event that I've done and think that I'm a great parent, or will look up to me and whatnot. So there's a lot of different layers to the decisions that we're making. And I want to give you a B2B example. So an in-house marketer may purchase a software that will help them create beautiful reports. So they're working really hard and they're running amazing campaigns. And now they want to show their colleagues and their managers what great work they're doing. So they may actually purchase software that they could work with for free, like with PowerPoint or Keynote, but they will purchase an actual software to do that because they want to stand out, because they want other people to notice their work, and they want to, basically stand out and be appreciated by people. So a lot of the times we make decisions because we want other people to think things about us or see us, or we want to stand out in other people's eyes. Now, this doesn't mean that every single person in the world is influenced by their social image. If you're like sitting there going like, I'm not like that, kudos to you, fantastic. But even brands that are selling services should consider social image as an emotional trigger, because ultimately it's a trigger that is there. So you might not be that kind of person, but your client might be, your customer might be. So if you are, I don't know, a PPC manager a freelancer that's, you know, selling PPC management, like an agency or an SEO agency, or you're a coach, then a CMO might hire you to make them look good, right, in front of other people. So I found that social image is a very, very strong emotional trigger, and I've seen it seriously in almost every single product that I've worked with, every client I've worked with, and with students time and time again. If it's used correctly on a page, it can really help you relate to your customers, create some sort of initial relationship with them, and help you really hit home and obviously increase your conversions. So that's social image. The second one is self-image. Self-image is actually, it goes hand in hand with social image, and that is how I feel about myself, right? So the idea here is that sometimes, and I guess almost every time, when you're buying something to make yourself feel something about yourself. So as an example, a lot of people will buy gym memberships just to feel good about themselves and actually never go, right? Or they'll buy books and they'll put them on the shelves, even though they're never going to read them. There's a lot of things, like people will hire business coaches, or they'll hire health coaches, all sorts of different things, or they'll take different courses to feel better about themselves. And this is to push them to the next level, to feel like they're arriving somewhere, to feel like they're hitting their targets, like they're hitting their personal goals or their business goals or their career goals. And it ultimately is about self-esteem, how I think about myself, how I perceive myself. And usually it works together. Usually, like with a client that I'm working right now, it's a project management tool. It's about, okay, what are my colleagues going to think? How am I going to onboard everyone? How's everyone going to perceive me when I bring this tool in? And also, like, how am I going to feel about myself ultimately? So these are two different emotional triggers that are key to increasing conversions. And if you use them correctly, you can really relate to people, connect with them, and lead them to the next stage. And what do I mean by that? I'm going to show you how to use these emotional triggers in your headlines, just headlines. And I'm going to give you 4 headline formulas. You can literally copy and paste these onto your landing pages and test them, or onto your website. Now, why am I doing this? Well, the interesting thing here is that when you think about how people search the web today, so let's say, I don't know, you're searching for a VA, you're searching for a babysitter, you're searching for whatever it is that you're searching for. The first thing I do is I go to Google, right? I'm going to search for something. Maybe I'm searching for best practices. Maybe I'm searching for a VA, as I mentioned before. I'm going to go to Google, and along comes like 10 different options in Google, in SERP. And what I do, I have a Mac. So I hit Command and I open a bunch of tabs. I don't know if anyone else does that. Let me know in the chat if you do this too. But I open like 10 different tabs sometimes, and I tab jump. Now, I never even noticed this until Mike King, who is an incredible, incredible speaker and marketer, mentioned this on stage. It was like, this is what I do. I tab jump. I'm like, yes, people tab jump. You jump from tab to tab to tab until something clicks. You're like, okay, close, no. And then you're like, you look at something, you're like, oh, this is interesting. What is that thing? Ask yourself. 99 times out of 100, it will be because they connected with you on an emotional level. They said something that grabbed you, and you're like, oh, this is interesting. I'm going to read on. So this is why I'm really focusing on the headlines, because these headlines will help you connect with your customers or your prospects is the right way to say it. And then you can get them to read more, to convert, to contact you, and so on. So let's see how we can leverage these emotional triggers in your headlines. 4 formulas. Formula number 1 is about self-image. Have a or become a desirable thing you can be proud of. So you would start basically the sentence with have a or become a and desirable thing. So what is the most desirable thing your prospect is trying to get? Self-image. The self-image that they are desiring to be, to feel about themselves, that you can be proud of. And you can be proud of is, again, self-image, right? How I feel about myself. I want to be proud. Here's an example. A gym could say, finally, live a healthy life you can be proud of. So I didn't use have or become, but you can see the desirable thing is living a healthy life and that you can be proud of. An online parenting program, this is a real headline that we used, become the parent you've always wanted to be, one you can be proud of. So again, this is not about the online parenting program. We have, 20 lessons or, worksheets. It's become the parent. Like, this is the desirable thing. They want to become the parent they've always wanted to be, that they imagined that they would be, someone they could be proud of. An email software. Write and send emails that make you money and proud. So I challenge you guys to take this first formula, write it down. So open a new Google Doc or Notion if you're using Notion, and write that down. You don't have to do it right now, but I want you to figure out what is that the most desirable thing they want to do and see how you can use this self-image formula. Moving on. Social image. The only solution, so the solution that you're selling, made exclusively to the most desirable social image outcome. So again, this is your solution made exclusively to get them to that most desirable social image outcome. So you can see here, presentation software. The only presentation software made exclusively to make you look like a pro designer. So this is a headline that we used for marketers for that presentation technology I was telling you about before. VA services, the only virtual assistant service that will make people around you ask, how does she get all that done? So notice that we say the solution is virtual assistant service that will make people ask, how does she get all that done? Great social image. An iPhone tutorial membership site. So this is literally one of our clients where they have a membership site where you can get amazing content about iPhones and Apple devices. The only membership program designed to help you master your iPhone and do what others can't. And this is literally out of our copy because we understood that what a lot of these people, this audience who is more of like the 60-year-olds, 70-year-olds, want to do things with their iPhones where they can show off to their younger members of their family and say, like, I can do this now and I don't need you to, fix everything for me. Let's look at an example. And again, copy and paste this. The only solution made exclusively to most desirable social image outcome. Copy and paste it into your Google Doc. Try thinking about it. What is the most desirable social image outcome for your solution? Let's look at one that embodies both of them. Social image and self-image. So become, have, or action, okay? The action that they need to take. Social image, most desirable social image, the social image that they want without undesirable self-image. So this is really cool. So for a management skills course, become the go-to person in the office without selling your soul to the devil. Like, okay, so the social image is the go-to person. Like, that's exactly what I want to do, but I don't want to sell my soul to the devil to do that. For new moms coaching program, raise a beautiful, happy family without giving up on your career and self-worth. For house cleaning service, have a journal-worthy home without breaking your back trying to do it all yourself. Social image, self-image. This is actually a really interesting one. If you can figure out the social image and the self-image together, wow. Now, one way that you can also test this, if you're like weary about testing this on your website or your landing pages and you're currently running Facebook ads, I would definitely test these on your Facebook ads. Finally, self-image, one more example. Get rid of undesirable self-image once and for all. So for accounting software, get rid of the severe anxiety, so that's the self-image, when doing your taxes once and for all. for career training, get rid of that self-doubt and get respect you deserve once and for all. Actually has a bit of social image in there because it's get the respect that you deserve. For an economic counseling service, get rid of the crippling debt that's torturing your nights once and for all. So we had 4 headline formulas here. Each one is completely different and can really help you either drive traffic with your Facebook ads or Instagram ads, or even like amazing subject lines for your emails. Or, as I mentioned, which I think is the best, is putting them into your landing pages and your website. So I challenge you guys to try these out. Now, if you guys are in my Facebook group, We Optimize, then I would love to see, even if you're not doing it right now, if you want to post these during the next week, the next few days, and post them in the group, I will happily take a look and answer. If you haven't been in my group or you've just joined, then you might not know I'm super active in there and I'm happy to answer all the questions all the time. So if you want to take a stab at one of these and you're like, I can't do this right now, but I'll try it tomorrow, then jump into Facebook and post them in there and I'll help you. And I'll like give you feedback and recommendations to how to make it even better. So these are the 4 headline formulas. And I just want to walk you through one final case study to really drive home how emotion can really increase your conversions, because there's so much to learn about using emotional targeting, how to identify those emotions and how to get there and how to leverage them. So this is Power Up Toys. It's a wonderful client of ours. We've been working with them a year and a half now. Absolutely love them. They have this brilliant product, which basically you take a paper airplane and connect it with their device and it can fly and you use your phone. It's super cool. Super, super cool. So when they came to us, and I'm looking over there because I have 2 screens. When they came to us, they had a lot of traffic to their website. So they were driving a lot of traffic, but they were seeing very little sales. And they had a tough time trying to figure out how to sell. So in order to boost their conversions, they came to us and like, help us figure out what's wrong. So we actually conducted a really deep dive research. This is our emotional targeting research. It's where we do a bunch of interviews and customer surveys and things like review mining and social listening and like a bunch of really in-depth research tactics that help us understand the emotional triggers. So the pain, they help us understand the pains, the challenges, and the desired outcomes. They help us understand why people buy from them and not the competitor. And what we figured out, which was incredible. So we, of course, we look at Google Analytics and heat maps and stuff like that. But when we zeroed in on the people behind the screen, not the geographical location, not the browser they were using or the age, but the people behind the screen, we understood something super, super important. And that is that the website as it is right now isn't speaking to the target audience. So we uncovered 2 very distinct archetypes of people and customers who are coming to who are buying from them. The first one is like the DIYers, the inventors, who are really happy with a product that isn't fully baked and they can tinker with it for like ages and they don't mind making mistakes and trying something and then it doesn't fly. So they go back to the drawing board and fixing it. Like these are the people that just love it. It's like fun. And then the other type is the complete opposite. And these are like the hobbyists. These are people that want a fully baked product. They want to buy the propeller. They want to connect their airplane to it and it just flies, right? And the problem here was that when you look at their website, they were speaking to the hobbyists and telling them like, this is super easy. Everyone can do it. Just buy it. It's super, super cool and easy. When most of the products are not super easy. So what was happening is that we're sending away the DIYers, the tinkerers. They were sending them away because they're like, okay, this is not for me. And for the people that were actually ordering the product, they were super upset when they got the product because it wasn't easy to use. Now, as we were getting ready to launch to start testing our new homepage and product pages for them, they were launching a new product that was super easy to do. So we had to basically create a homepage and a pricing page, and a homepage, a product page, and a catalog page that spoke to these two different people. And what we did was we basically created this new variation. So power up your ideas with one of our lightweight yet powerful propellers. Explore the limits of aerodynamics by creating unique planes that push your creativity and our propeller to the limit. Or use one of our pre-designed models to start flying with friends in minutes. We understood our target audience and we went for the whole idea of having fun, doing it with your family. This is actually an image of the grandfather with the grandson because it's a family business, and really kind of throw those emotions out there. We got a 95% increase in sales and basically 10 times their leads just by making it about them and understanding the emotional triggers of people. Now, again, we adapted the homepage, the product pages, the menus, everything to ensure that we were really speaking to the right people and speaking their language and using the right emotions. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to check your funnels, and I want you to look at your Facebook ads, your website, your landing pages, and even your thank you pages. And I also want you to look at your emails, and I want you to ask yourself one question. Are you making it about the customer, or are you making it about yourself? So look at it. Are you focused on your customer's value or the features of your solution? So are you focusing on the what or the why? Ask yourself if you could focus your message on what your customer is currently feeling, the before, and what she wants to feel after. And also ask yourself, are the images and the colors that you're using really connecting with your prospects' emotions? Are they amplifying them? Are they really working with your messaging? So ultimately, the idea is to, and this is the number one rule with the emotional targeting methodology, is you're not the hero, your customer is. You need to put them in the spotlight. So you need to make it about them, their desired outcomes, their results, their value. So now if you're thinking to yourself, you're looking at the screen right now and you're like, okay, cool, I get it. Emotion's fantastic, but my product or my service isn't emotional. Okay, cool. Let me assure you that whatever you're selling can be sold on emotion. So I just want to tell you that I've used emotion to help optimize everything, like from banks to QA software, accounting software, universities, dentists, e-commerce stores, lawyers, PPC agencies, a cardboard box, heat map software. So like we've covered everything with our clients and with our students also, like hundreds and hundreds of different types of businesses and different type of industries. They all work on emotion. So whatever you're selling, you have the opportunity to connect it to emotion. And the reason I'm saying this is because for the next 3 days, I'm offering Emotion Sells, the masterclass, which is basically the one place where I teach you how to find the emotions that impact your customers the most. And I'm going to show you how to use those emotions to get immediate results and higher ROI, and basically and increase your conversions. So if you're asking yourself, okay, what is this course about? I'm going to spend like 2 minutes on that because you can ask me later. But this course basically has 20 plus easy to follow lessons and video trainings. We have access to all my templates and checklists and everything that I use with my own clients. You have weekly office hours with me on Slack. There's monthly group coaching calls. So I also have students that enrolled last year and they're still showing up for our live calls. And of course, we have a Slack community. So there's a lot going on in Emotion Sells. There's a lot of amazing results from Emily, who says it's the most so many actionable practices, guides, and worksheets for years. Eddie, who basically said that after years of frustrations from no major success, signed up to Emotion Sells and things have never been the same. We have Dawn, who says that the access to me is invaluable. And Wes, who's like saying that he gets 90K clients now. If you want to learn more and just see what's in the course, then you're welcome to for the next 3 days. Emotion Cells is offered for 50% off. It's for a limited time. That's it. You can visit it at this link. And now is your time. Now I want to answer all your questions and see if you want me to look at any pages or answer any questions. So I am going to exit from here and remove that. Full video. Hi. And we have, there's so many comments. Amazing. So first of all, thank you everyone for joining and listening. And hopefully this has been super, super helpful for you and that you found it valuable. Now I would love to answer any questions. And I see that Christine has questions, not me. Ash, you're not in there. Got it. Sorry, I'm adding you back. Sorry.
No problem. All right, Talia. There are quite a few questions for you. Thank you, everybody, for sharing your questions, asking your questions. So the first one that I have is from, I hope I pronounce this correctly, Sabah Demeter. He is asking if, because you suggested at the start to propose landing pages to live check. He's thinking of a non-English lead thank you page. Is that okay? So basically, can his landing pages be in another language? I think that's what he's asking.
Yeah, 100%. I know you, Sabah, you use Romanian, I think. So you can definitely use these formulas in any language. I guess you'd have to translate it and localize it, but we have used these formulas in many different languages. We've used it in French. We've used some in Spanish. So I'm sure they translate as well, as long as you localize them and you don't just like copy and paste, for sure.
Okay. And he's also asking if the title lines are suitable for Google Ads.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not the Google ad expert, so they might be like different things that you should consider. But I have had clients that we've tested this with, Google ads in search, in Facebook ads, Instagram ads, even LinkedIn ads. And it's worked really well, for sure.
Awesome. Then Yokari Abe, I hope I pronounced that correctly, is asking, how do you conduct your research and what questions do you ask during your research?
Oh, I love this question so much. Thank you so much. So the way we go about it is every single time we work with clients or when we work in Emotion Cells, so within the course, we have a bank of questions that we like to ask. So the research itself consists of customer surveys to basically tap into the emotional value that customers and clients are receiving from your service. But we also do visitor surveys, and that is to understand what's missing on the page. So we'll get to understand from clients and customers what they value the most, and then we'll get to understand from visitors what they're missing, what's most painful for them, what they're trying to solve, and then we'll connect the dots. We also do interviews like we did for Power Up. We also do something called review mining, which is amazing, which is basically combing through Amazon. Most times it's like Amazon products or Amazon books for reviews that other solutions are giving, just to see what people are saying. We also do social listening in Facebook groups and different communities, and we do competitor analysis. And yeah, those are the big things. We also do like a conversion analysis and a design analysis to really just dive in to understand who the people are that are behind the screen. And then we use all of that to identify the top 3 pains that people are facing, the top 3 desired outcomes, and then we write the copy. I think I answered half the question. What was the other one? What were the questions that we ask?
Right.
So there's different ones depending on the industry. My most favorite one is one that I picked up from Else Aerts, who basically you ask your customers and clients, if you could no longer use this solution anymore, what would you miss the most? One of my favorite questions, I always include it, And the idea here is that if I went back to my customers or clients and said, so what do you like most about us? Most of them are going to say, we love this feature, or we love that, I don't know, X. But if you ask people, if I took this away from you now and you could no longer use this, what would you miss the most? You're going to get authentic answers. Like, you're going to get more emotional questions, which is what we're going for. So that's one of my favorite questions. And I urge you to try it for sure.
Awesome. Then Kenneth Gibbons is asking if you can recommend funnel software that he can do it himself.
Yeah, thanks for the question, Kenneth. I use different software. So I currently am using Lead Pages. I've been using it for years and I'm super happy. But I have to say that I think like there really are such great products. Unbound is amazing for landing page building and pop-ups. So yeah, I would, and there's Instapage. I mean, I'm currently using Lead Pages. I'm also an affiliate of theirs, so I guess that's part of it. But I really like all my landing pages are built on Lead Pages. Like, I absolutely love them. So that would be my recommendation.
Okay, and then Pilar is asking, do we have to focus on today's feelings or the after the product ones?
Great question. Thank you, Pilar. I would say it's a great thing to test. So some people connect more with how they're feeling right now. So if I would go to a landing page and say that you, I don't know, let's say you're an accountant and you want to get leads, you could focus on the fact that they're stressed out because it's almost the end of the year and they need to start working on their taxes. So that's the now. Or you could focus on the desired outcome, the end. It's a test. It's something to test. Now, if you don't have enough traffic to test this, which means you don't have enough traffic to divide and send half the traffic to one variation and half the track to like, and half the traffic to another variation, you could email people and see what they respond to more. So if you have an email list, you could email about the current pains that they're experiencing and see how many people open that email and interact with it. Or you could email them about the desired outcome and see how many people interact with that. So there's different ways, but you would definitely test it and see. And you can also interview people and ask them. But I would test to see what most resonates with. Oh, hello?
You're back now.
Anyway, what I was trying to say is test it is basically the answer.
Okay. And then Emre Toprak is asking, how can we get feedback from you? What's the best channel? Is it Twitter, Facebook account, We Optimize?
I would say We Optimize is the best place because I'm constantly monitoring it. Things can get lost in my Twitter feed. So if you want to post a landing page or an email or anything, then you can do that. And I will get to that within Facebook and give you some suggestions and ideas. If there's something you want me to look at now, I'm here, then post the link right now and I'll take a look. But if there's generally, the Facebook group is the best place because that's where I'm at. When you join Emotion Cells, we have this all the time. And there's like certain hours that I log in and answer questions. And there's monthly calls that I'm reviewing pages and so on.
Okay, awesome. And he added the link, right?
Oh, wait. Yes, that was it. I tried to click on it to open it and it featured your link. Free publicity.
Yeah. And then some other people are adding theirs too. But Yokari had one last question. She was asking, have you used emotional triggers in proposal presentation? And can you share your experience if you have?
So can you elaborate on what a proposal presentation, I mean, what she means by that?
So Yukari, can you elaborate for us? Just type a comment and let us know what you mean by...
I just want to make sure that I understand, like, is this a software? Isn't it cool that I can highlight questions?
Yes, it is.
I didn't know we could do that.
I was doing it throughout your presentation, but you probably were so...
Thank you. No, I could not see anything. I can't seem to get bioalert.me to come up. So post it in the Facebook group and I will look at that later, I guess.
Okay. She responded. She said, custom build software development service.
Okay. So the question is,
The question is, have you
Have
used
you used
emotional?
emotional triggers in a proposal presentation? Can you share your experience? I think that it really depends on where you want to use it. My experience is using it on landing pages for these type of works, for these type of industries where you want to really connect. When you're sending a proposal over to someone, it's like super triggering and hard, and you're worried about the different technical things that can happen. I would say thank you. Why does it say Facebook user? Who said that? Thank you, Facebook user. So I would say that I would focus on yes, you can use. The answer is yes, you can use emotional triggers on a proposal software. I would definitely use it. I would use it on my landing page. I would use it on my sign up form. I think that a lot of times when you're dealing with software, people kind of only think about the homepage or the landing page. And then you get to the software and it's like, okay, you're sold, all good. But you can actually leverage the sign up page and the thank you page to get more people to sign up and really connect with you. So I would definitely consider using them and trying them for sure. And I would love to see how you do that for sure.
Okay. And then I think one more question came in from Alexandra. She's asking, should a landing page have a form at the top for people to fill out or a call to action button that opens a form?
Oh, the ultimate question. If you ask lead pages, by the way, they would say button that shows a form. My specific experience is form, but it depends on how many fields you have in your form. It depends on who your customers are. It depends if you're B2B or B2C. It depends on what you're asking. Are you asking people to subscribe to an email newsletter? Then just show the form. Are you asking people to open an account? Probably button and then. It really depends on the ask and how big it is. And because when the ask is bigger, you want to leverage the pop-up or the new page with the form on it to sell even more. It kind of touches on what I was saying before with the proposal, is that a lot of times you see in SaaS that you have like a button and it sends you to like this page with nothing on it, but you can use the pop-up to actually sell and like make more selling points or use a testimonial or put in some social proof. So it just depends on your ask, what you're asking for and who your customers are, how ready they are. Again, if you're asking people to like download a lead magnet, I don't see the reason to have a button and then a pop-up. Like then they know they need to put in their details. Why hide behind a button?
Okay. And how many more questions are you taking, Talia?
I'm good to go, guys. I promised in my email that I would go on, and I'm happy to go to keep
All
going.
right.
No worries.
So 2 more came in. Bunmi Solomon is asking, how do you do color research? Decide on what color will invoke the emotions that will convert to sales.
Okay. Love me questions on color psychology.
Mhm.
I get super crazy about color psychology because everyone's like, red means anger, blue means trust. No, it doesn't. So let's like set that. I have a full guide about color psychology. And it's super it's really about that not all colors mean one thing, because you have to understand who the customer is, their experience, their emotions, and even their culture. So how do I figure it out? Once we've done the emotional targeting methodology, a lot of the stuff that we focus on are pains, challenges, roadblocks, emotions, right? The emotions that I'm feeling now, the emotions that I want to feel. So then when you know that, you can connect the right colors and you understand who the people are. So you understand culturally, you understand their experience, so you can choose the right colors. Many times people try to leverage different colors, but that don't make sense. Just because, like when you look at banks, they're all blue for some reason because everyone told them that blue means trust. But that's not really what that means. So when you understand who's behind there, it would help you make that decision. And I encourage you to take a look at the complete guide. It's on our blog. step-by-step examples and explanations on how to leverage how to use color psychology.
Okay, I'm going to put that link in the chat while Talia answers the
Thank
next
you.
question, which is from Kenneth. Again, how would you continue the customer experience after they sign up so they would stay with you and refer others to you?
Email marketing. Okay. So actually, there's two things. Thank you page, the most underestimated page in the effing funnel. Like, I don't get why people are like, okay, thanks, bye, check your email. No, thank you page is the most, oh my God, it can double your conversions. Once someone has actually taken an action with you and they're like, cool, we've given you all details, ask for the next thing on the thank you page. So if you want to get them to refer you, that's where you do it. And you can also, of course, use email marketing. So once someone has signed up to you, if you are not emailing them, you're doing a disservice. Like, you're literally letting them down. They just gave you their email. They want more from you. If you're not emailing them and telling them what to do to get the results that they're looking for, you're letting them down. So email marketing and thank you page.
All right. And then Arne is asking if you can recommend a colleague or program to get the possible customers to the landing pages, or do you recommend Google ads, Facebook ads, any type of social media ad, basically?
So are you asking about, like, should you invest in paid or should you invest in organic? Because the answer is going to be both. Christine's doing an amazing job for us for driving traffic. But the way it works is I would invest on both. So I have an actual, like, one of our bonus lessons is actually about how to drive traffic to your website. And one of the ways that I do that is by doing webinars and by writing blog posts for other publishers and essentially getting on other people's lists so that I can drive traffic. So that's the free way. I rarely do ads or pay for ads. It's a lot of writing for our own blog, and it's also a lot of just showing up on other blogs and writing content for other people, creating workshops, involving myself, like getting involved in different communities and so on.
Okay. And Michelle has a very important question about the Emotion Cells course. She is basically saying that she would want to do the monthly plan, but what if she wants to stop after 6 months or so?
I'm not sure I completely understand the question. You want to do the 12 month plan, and then so you don't have to take 12 months to complete the course. That's basically it. There's two ways of signing up to Emotion Cells. You can either pay in full, and then I think you get to save some money, or you can pay in 12 installments. Some people have, like, at the 6 month or even later just written and said, like, hey, I want to pay in full and just complete it. And we've done that. So it's really up to you. We have a 30-day money back guarantee. So basically you try Emotion Cells for 30 days. And if it doesn't work for you, then you don't have to continue paying and we can unenroll you. I'm not going to make anyone stay, but it's 30 days basically. And you can choose your plan.
Okay. Michelle, did that answer your question? Please let us know. And if you need any other clarification about that. And Devin is asking a general question. He says that he's fairly new with social media marketing. And would you recommend any kind of approach to build up practical knowledge base? The fear of missing out is so in his face.
For social media, I mean, I guess if you're asking about how to learn about social media marketing, I would definitely, there's so many amazing publishers out there that really give you some amazing content. I would say that I would definitely look at Social Media Examiner, a fantastic, phenomenal publisher with so many how-tos and workshops and free, like, live events. So you can definitely use those for sure. When we open up for the Income Engine, which is a different type of course, we actually have a section about social media and ads and stuff like that, but that will only be, I think, opening in January. So I'll keep you posted.
Okay.
Yeah. I
Okay.
think we're done, right? There's one more question.
Yeah.
Any recommendations for how to use emotion in the wine business, enticing people to sign up for a wine club? Fantastic question. It says Facebook user. I don't know if you can see who that is, Christine.
Paloma.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, we've done conversion optimization for a wine business. So you can definitely use emotion there. I definitely recommend digging into those headline formulas that I shared. Could be a cool way of doing that. I would use email marketing. So if you have people on your list, then you can email them about the club, get them involved in that. And of course, what else? And of course, you can do that in your ads and on the website itself, even in the pop-up.
Okay. And some other questions are coming.
No worries, I'm here. Go ahead.
Let me go to Michelle's question first, though. She's saying, please describe differences between this mastermind and the income engine besides the social media component you just mentioned.
Great question. Emotion Cells is our flagship course, and that's where we learn how to use emotion. It's let's say the foundation of everything that I do. I teach you step by step the 4-step process of getting to know your customers, who's behind the screen, why do they buy from you, and how to leverage those emotions on your different pages, and how to choose the right images and the colors and the copy and the words that you want to use. And it's a very simple framework that you follow. And it's a 6-week program. The income engine is a funnel building program where for 6 weeks, I teach you how to build a funnel from scratch. Facebook ad to landing page, thank you page, and first email. And we do it all together, writing the copy, designing, and everything. So it's really like step by step. And they both are complementary. So like they complete each other. There's a lot of people that took Emotion Cells and then took the income engine and vice versa.
Okay. And I hope that answers your question, Michelle. If you have any other clarifying questions, you can feel free to ask. Yukari is asking, who's your favorite marketer? Who's your hero?
I have a few. Can I say a few? I am going to say Joanna Weeb from Copy Hackers is a true friend and my hero. She's absolutely incredible. Ross Simmons, who is my co-podcaster, is that how you say? Like he works with me, whatever. Oh my gosh, he is incredible. If you guys aren't following Ross Simmons, like what the heck are you doing? He's amazing. Tara Robertson, who is the CMO of Teamwork, who I idolize basically. And I can go on, but those are like my top 3.
Okay. And Emery Toprak is asking, if you choose one question to ask a visitor on your landing page, what would you ask for feedback?
Is there anything stopping you from doing X? So that's like signing up, enrolling, whatever. Is anything stopping you from doing X right now?
Okay.
Like what's holding you back?
Okay. All right. So that looks like all the questions. I don't see anything else coming. Oh.
Thank you very much, everyone. I'm super happy that you guys showed up, and hopefully this was super actionable for you. I hope to see you in Emotion Cells. If not, I'm in the Facebook group, and I'm happy to answer more questions over the next few days, and actually all the time. And that's it. Thank you, everyone, for showing up. Thank you, Christine, for all the help. And yeah, I will see you guys on social media. So on YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook. Thanks, everyone. Have a wonderful rest of your day or evening, wherever you are in the world. Bye, everyone.